What does COD 2024 need to be good? That's the question I asked all of you a couple weeks ago on my community page, and we got a decent amount of responses. I'm probably not going to get to every single one, so if you guys want a part 2, let me know down below in the comments. Before I jump into what you all think, I'm going to say what I think COD 2024 needs to be good. So let me start off with the biggest and most important thing that this game needs, and that is good maps. Every single Cold War Zombies map pretty much feels the same, aside from like the bunny Easter egg on Firebase Z or the Dark Ether on D Machine. Aside from that, every single Cold War map feels the same. Round-based, Outbreak, you name it. I want maps that feel like they were real areas at one point in time that just so happen to have a zombie outbreak. I want a map that feels like Shadows of Evil, or Der Eisendrache, or Origins, or Die Rise even. I mean, something that feels like a zombies map, not just facilities. Cold War was severely lacking in the immersion aspect, and that, more so than anything else, needs to be in COD 2024. The second thing that needs to be in this game are characters, not operators. Now, I'm willing to compromise on this because there is something they could do to actually make this work if they really needed to keep operators. They could either give us a traditional cast of characters, like Primus, Ultimus, Victus, etc., or they could do what World War II Zombies did and give us our set crew, but also give us the operators, which we can unlock through either in-game challenges or, knowing modern day Activision, microtransactions. But that way, we still have the characters with funny and unique quotes that feel relatable and progress the story, and not just some basic operator going, "Dead guy down, I killed a zombie. This perk tastes bad. I pack-a-punched." I mean, we need more than just that, Treyarch. We need actual characters. I don't really know what happened in Vanguard and Modern Warfare Zombies, but just going off of what they did in Cold War, they could get a cast together now. They could do Richtofen, they could do Samantha, they could do Ravenov, they could even do like Dr. Peck, which I don't like at all, but he's better than basic operator number 5. Next up, replayable main quests. Now, I'm not asking for really difficult quests like Voyage of Despair or Blood of the Deads. I'm not asking for really challenging quests like that. I just want fun and replayable quests. Quests like Der Eisendrache, quests like Ancient Evil, quests like Mob of the Dead even. I mean, they can make it easy, yet still fun. All of those quests I just listed are super simple, but the steps are fun, and the story's good, and the quests are replayable. Cold War's quests were not good. D Machines was okay. Firebases was terrible. Mowers was okay as well. And Forsakens was just terrible. Oh, and Outbreak. Outbreak sucked too. Aside from the Legion fight anyway. We need simple steps that are fun and replayable. Not just something you go, okay, well I beat it once, never gonna do the main quest again. Out of everything I'll say in this video, this is most likely not going to change because Treyarch has stated time and time again why they barely put any time into making Easter eggs anymore, and it's understandable to an extent, but at the same time, how much harder would it be to make a quest like Der Eisendrache over Mauer or something? Or Mob of the Deads. Mob of the Deads is literally just traveling to Pack-a-Punch 3 times and collecting some headphone drops. That's literally the whole Easter egg. They can at least do that, right? Right? But a few more things I want to list real quick. These aren't major points like the first 3 were. These are just really small changes that I would love if they made. Number 1, we need the shield back. The shield system is objectively better than the armor system. The shield system had a higher skill ceiling, and you didn't need an additional zombies currency just to grab the shield. Let me put it like this, okay? Let me just paint a picture for y'all real quick. Close your eyes, imagine this. Imagine you're right next to Electric Cherry on Mob of the Dead, okay? You get hit 4 times and get red screened. So you run towards the gondola, and there's a zombie coming from the gondola. With the shield, you can just hurry up and turn your back to that zombie that's about to down you, and the shield will take the hit and not get you down. But let's replace the shield with the armor. The same scenario, okay? You're red screen going to the gondola and a zombie's coming up to you. The armor's not gonna save you. Sure, the armor is better for casual player on like round 10, but the shield completely changed how we played zombies. And it really does need to come back. Next, we need the OG point system back. Now, y'all know how much I love BO4 Zombies, but one thing I can't stand about that game is the point system. They changed the traditional point system to damage-based points. So depending on how much damage you do to a zombie, you'll get a various amount of points for it. Cold War somehow made this even worse by changing it from damage-based points to kill-based points. So in Cold War, You can't get any points unless you fully kill the zombie. We need it back to where you get 10 points for every hit marker you get, and 110 points for a headshot, and 130 points for a melee. It changed how you played the early game so much, because you could either get a shotgun and make sure that you won't die for like the first 10 rounds or so, or you could buy an SMG or a pistol or something, which is weaker than a shotgun, but in exchange for damage, you're getting extra points so you can buy more perks and more doors quicker. In Cold War, you literally have no reason to ever use an assault rifle or an SMG or a pistol or something, because you get the same amount of points no matter what weapon you use. And why would you use a pistol or an SMG when you could just use the Gallo or the Hauer or the Street Sweeper? Speaking of using the Gallo and the Street Sweeper and stuff like that, we need to get rid of the starting weapon option. It was fine in World War II Zombies, it was fine in BO4, but why can't we spawn in with any gun that we want in Cold War? It goes right back to what I was just talking about, where the whole point about zombies is starting off weak and progressing through the rounds and getting stronger weapons and buying perks and doors and stuff like that. But in Cold War, if you spawn in with the Gallo, which if you're going off of dominant strategy, you will be, why would you ever use a pistol or an SMG when those need to be upgraded by like round 5, round 6, and the shotguns don't need to be upgraded until like round 12, 13, 14, maybe even past. I don't know. It's been so long since I played, but that is such a major issue with Cold War. Like, if you want to give players the option to start with a certain weapon, fine. But one of two things need to be in the game alongside it. Number one, you either need really tough restrictions on what guns you can bring, like World War II Zombies or BO4. Like BO4, you could only bring in one of 3 pistols, the worst SMG in the game, and the worst tactical rifle in the game. Those were your choices, because you still had to progress and get stronger weapons. Or number two, you need to bring back the old point system, so there's actually a reason to spawn in with something besides a shotgun. One of those two things need to be in the game if you're still going to allow people to choose whatever weapon they want to spawn in with. One last thing I wanted to throw in, just because this is like a meme. It doesn't need to be in the game, but I would appreciate it if it was. Onslaught Containment. If you didn't play Cold War and you don't know what this is, it was basically a game mode where it was just constant balls to the walls. And I guess you can throw in the Rampage Inducer with this. Onslaught Containment puts you on the multiplayer gunfight maps, or whatever that 2v2 game mode was in multiplayer, and zombies will just spawn all over the map and come at you from all directions. And once you get to like round 15, round 20, that game mode is pure chaos, and it is so much fun. Like, that should be in the game for people that just want to turn their brains off. Like I said, this doesn't need to be in a game, and I guess Rampage Inducer doesn't need to be either, but I would really appreciate it if they were in the game. But now that I'm done rambling, let's jump in to what you all have to say. The first comment is from Lalter, or I'm probably butchering that, I'm sorry, but he says 4 character crews tied to the map's story instead of soulless operators. 100%. I just talked about this a couple minutes ago, but would you rather listen to Ultimus Richthofen, or would you rather listen to I Pack-a-Punched a Weapon, I Bought the Door, Zombie Down? I know which one I'd prefer. D-Jack says, a set cast of characters, good maps with most importantly atmosphere and personality, in-depth side Easter eggs, and a dense map, in terms of things to actually do that mean something. Love watching your videos and these community posts. Thank you, man, I really appreciate it. But yeah, again, like I said earlier, we need maps with replay value. I don't care how you feel about Cold War's gameplay mechanics. If you look at the maps themselves, you cannot deny that they are objectively really lacking in the Easter egg department and the atmosphere department. Aside from Forsaken, that map has a decent amount of Easter eggs and they're pretty fun, besides the main quest. Expert Fusion says, in-depth zombie maps with tons of personality, tons of side quests, fun and challenging Easter eggs, lots of in-game grinds, lots of original content, a more simplistic HUD, and more interesting map locations, not just boring facilities. I feel like a lot of these comments are gonna say the same thing, but if they all say the same thing, that's how you know that these are changes that need made. But yes, we need more zombie maps with personality. We need more side quests. Like I said, now that I think about it, Forsaken did have some pretty cool side quests, like the RCXD race and the Perkaholic and the Ronald Reagan, and there's probably a couple more that I'm forgetting. You said lots of in-game grinds. We need stuff to grind for. I'll tell you what I think we need. A mastery camera grind, first off, which that's probably a given, but in modern COD, who knows? They've taken away emblem editing for some reason, so They could take away literally anything and not explain it. We also need what Cold War had in the seasonal challenges. If you don't know what I'm talking about, every like 60 to 90 days, however long each season was during Cold War's life cycle, they would give you 20, 25 challenges, something like that, to do to unlock calling cards, and once you completed every single one, you would get an animated calling card, and I think an emblem too, if I'm not mistaken. What I think they should also do, since there's rumors about there being gobblegums in this game, I mean, we don't know, these are all rumors. We're basing all of our theories off of a string of code in the game files. So this could very well not end up even being in the game, but let's say instead of locking the gobblegums behind microtransactions, instead what they could do is, let's say you unlock a shopping free for completing the launch map's Easter egg, or you unlock Perkaholic for getting round 100 on that map, or you unlock Round Robin for getting round 500 on that map. Stuff like that. I think stuff like that would go a long way in adding a lot of depth to this game. Random Pillow says, the devs need to be passionate and be allowed to use their passion by the higher ups. 1000%. Just think of all the things we've heard over the years that Activision has forced Treyarch to scrap. In Black Ops 4, in Black Ops Cold War, and even in Modern Warfare Zombies. They aren't allowed to do what they want because they have to adhere to what Activision says, even though Activision aren't the game developers, they're the publisher. They're only looking for the way to make the most amount of money, and they don't care how replayable the game is and how unfair the microtransactions are. They don't care. All they care about is making the most amount of money. And if they care about making money, here's a crazy thought. Let the devs make the good game that they've been trying to make for the better part of a decade now, and people will spend $60, or I guess it's now $70 on Call of Duty every year. It's not rocket science. It's really not. I feel like they would go down this road if more 12-year-olds understood what was going on and didn't just shell out $60 every year for the newest COD to be cool in middle school. Like, I understand that. We were all there at one point, but until the little kids stop playing Call of Duty and boycott buying each new installment, I don't think this will ever change. Even under the Microsoft acquisition, I don't think that this will happen, but who knows? I would love to be wrong. Trust me, I would love to be wrong, but we'll have to wait and see. Laser Pie has a whole essay, and I like this. We're gonna read some of it. He has 6 or 7 ideas to improve zombies. Number 1, he says, a new version of difficulty, basically like the relic system from COD Ghost, where you can make the game more challenging, but get rewarded for it. Definitely. This should be in the game, and I'll take it one step further. Let's add teeth into the game as well. For the 99% of people that are watching this video that didn't play Extinction, let me explain this for you. The relic system was something you unlocked after completing the map in Extinction. Basically, it was like custom mutations in BO4, but it would only make your game harder. You couldn't make the game easier with it. It was basically there to test the hardcore players, to see just how skilled they are at this game. This needs a comeback as well, but what the teeth system is, it was basically like Liquid Divinium. You would earn some by playing the map, killing enemies, stuff like that. And you could spend it to unlock permanent upgrades, but not stuff like Cold War's perk upgrades. One that I remember is that you could use a Hypno Knife to turn a Rhino, which would basically be the Treyarch equivalent of using Turned to turn a Margwa, and have the Margwa go on the offensive for you. Like, it was stuff like that to make the game so much more fun. You say it needs a combination of the old and Cold War perk system. See, like, I don't really know how to feel about this. On one hand, I'm not the biggest fan of no perk limit, but at the same time, it is fun to be overpowered every now and again. So, yeah, I'm gonna say I agree. Like how in Elden Ring, certain types of weapons do more damage to certain enemies. We could have this in zombies, so SMGs and shotguns would do extra damage to normal enemies, but LMGs and launchers would do extra damage to bosses, and so on. I never played Elden Ring. I might give it a shot now that I have a decent PC, but that does sound like a good idea. I'm not even gonna lie. He says, let us buy Gobblegums by a system in game, so Perkaholic could be like 50 crystals. Yeah, we could do that. Or like I said earlier, we could do it to where we unlock the Gobblegum behind completing certain endgame challenges, like reaching round 100, completing the main quest, and so on. And lastly, you say, reward players for doing Easter eggs. For example, the first 3 people to do the Easter egg after the game's release will get COD points or an in-game item. I do agree with this, but I don't think they will do this. If they give like a calling card to the first 200 people that complete the Easter egg, it's gonna be locked for most people. Or how about this? Okay, hold on. I just thought about something. Your first time completing the Easter egg, you will get a calling card for it, right? I mean, that's been in zombies for years. But the first 500 people that complete this Easter egg will get a number on the calling card showing how early they completed it. So let's say, for example, if me and my squad beat it like an hour after release and we were in the first 500, let's say we were 275th. we would get the calling card, but it would also say like number 275 in a gold font or something like that. They could do that to make it work. But yeah, LaserPie, I agree with most of what you're saying. If it had a character system like World War II Zombies, the art style similar to Vanguard and BO4, map design not copy and pasted from Campaign, side Easter eggs like BO3, weapon upgrades and perk systems similar to Modern Warfare 3, and as many game modes as Cold War, we would have a pretty solid game in my opinion. Yeah, for the most part, that is what I said. So you got some pretty good taste. We need Lee Ross back. Yes, dude. We need somebody back. Lee Ross, Jason Blundell, Cameron Dayton, Jimmy Zielinski, we need somebody back. And I think that's part of the reason why BO2 Zombies was so successful, because there were multiple teams working on zombies. You had Jason Blundell and his team making maps like Origins and Mob of the Dead, but you also had Jimmy Zielinski's team making Transit, Die Rise, and Buried. And the Victus maps felt so different from Mob of the Dead and Origins, to where like a lot more people liked BO2 than liked BO1 or BO4, for example. Like, I love BO4 Zombies, but I'm not gonna sit here and act like you can't tell every single map in that game was made by Jason Blundell and his crew. I think we could really stand to have some variety in terms of how the maps are structured in the next game, and I think the only way to achieve that is by getting multiple directors and teams. Casual and hardcore quests, no internet required, round-based, good transport system, more Dark Ether, epic and challenging boss fights, and Easter egg rewards. Yes to all 7. I mean, I don't really care about needing internet to connect. I mean, that's just the way the world is going. I mean, most games are going to be like that in the near future. I don't think that's going to be a thing. Maybe it will be, I don't know, but yeah, it would be really nice if we had multiple quests, especially a harder version of the basic quest. And if they had to make every map just a facility, I think they could make it work by putting Dark Ether in every single map and making that the unique aspect of each map. Zombie Chronicles 2. Definitely. One of these games will get Zombie Chronicles 2. It was supposed to be a thing since Black Ops 4 in 2018. They've been sitting on this for 6 years now. Just release it at some point. Stop waiting for the most opportune time to release it. Just do it already. A continuation of the Chaos storyline. Bring back the BO4 perk system and finally no operators. Can you guys tell what his favorite game is by his profile picture? As much as I would love to see the Chaos story come back, I don't want to see it happen without Jason Blundell being at the helm. It was his story after all. He stated in countless interviews how big a fan he was of mythology and stuff like that. When he travels to different countries, he makes sure to pick up almost every mythology book he can get his hands on. The Chaos story was Blundell's story, and without Blundell there, I really don't want to see it come back and go down a road that really branches it from what it was built up to be in BO4. The BO4 perk system, I would like to see the modifier system come back, but make it on every perk. Starting pistol, definitely. Round-based zombies for a start, definitely. We need round-based zombies back. I'm gonna skip the next couple points you made because I've already went over them ad nauseum in this video. You say we need proper progression and rewards in and out of the game. No more of this battle pass rubbish. This should happen, but let's be real, it's not going to. Until Fortnite gets rid of the Battle Pass, Call of Duty won't get rid of it. Trust me. And you said unique locations for maps. BO4's Ancient Evil was the last round-based map to have its own unique setting and vibe. The maps after are either campaign reskins or remasters. I can see that, but like I said earlier, there are certain parts of maps that released after Ancient Evil that do feel unique. Like I said, when you go in Dark Ether and D Machine, it feels like a different map than it does without Dark Ether. We need to have the story about the Primus crew fighting DJ Oz, and then him turn into Super Oz. Yes, we need that. If we don't get the Thunder Gun or Ray Gun Mark II, I will cry. Not only that, I feel like we could see the Ray Gun Mark III come back even. I feel like the Ray Gun Mark II and or the Mark III need to be in the game. Or maybe even a new one that actually feels like a ray gun, and not just some piece of crap like the Ray K84. And then finally you say have BO3 Deadwire come back. Have BO3 Deadwire come back, but also have Fireworks come back as well. This would be the last comment I read in this video, because it has something that I completely forgot about, and something that I haven't seen in the rest of the comment section. So, Nathan says, make it actual zombies, no objective-based craft, more in-game progression, a variety of difficulty, full original maps, go back to a 4-perk system, but most importantly, he says, give us a map editor. We need a map editor, or mod tools, or something. We need something in this game. I love BO3 as much as the next guy, but that game is dated as hell. It would be so good if we got a modern Call of Duty with mod tools. We need a new zombies game with mod support, where we can make our own mods, our own maps, our own wonder weapons, our own boss enemies, because that is what keeps COD Zombies alive in the years where there's no new content. That's what kept zombies alive between BO4 and Cold War. That's what kept zombies alive after Vanguard. Custom zombies, more than any other thing in this video really, needs to be in this game. It'll make the new COD so much more replayable. If y'all don't want to make Zombie Chronicles 2, fine. Give us mod support on the new COD, and we'll make it ourselves. That's what Lex and his crew, and Verco, and I forget who's making the buried one. But that's what they're doing with the Victus maps in BO3, because Treyarch don't want to. So, if you don't want to do it, give us the mod tools and we'll do it ourselves, Treyarch. That's all I gotta say. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, please do me a favor and hit that like button and leave a comment down below what you think COD 2024 needs to be good. If you want to support me even further, you can do so by clicking the join button below this video or by leaving a super thanks. Thank you all so much for watching, and with that being said, I will see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.